It's like that song from Lit, My Own Worst Enemy.
Just like I said, like me playing music. I can play some music.
You gotta bring it up. We're live right now. You gotta bring it up.
Me and you can play some music, but I am not as trained as you. I'm a afterward. Let me sit down, jam warrior. I can play and sing. I don't think I sound very good at singing, but I try.
Do you like the way you sound as a musician? Do you like the way you sound in your head?
Well, I think I do, but have you ever like left a voicemail on your phone and then re-listened to it? That's what I'm talking about. Have you ever tried to make a voicemail?
No.
And it's like, hi, this is Cade.
Right? I think the same thing.
And you're
I see myself on the news.
Is that
or
what
something.
I sound like? You just
I got the nasaliest shit ever. I'm just like, really? I sound like that? And then I go to work the next day and I'm hearing it and I'm like, all right, it could be possible.
For me, it's I feel like I talk 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I get super especially if I'm super excited. I'm like my brain just I don't know. I'm skipping over things, skip over words, I talk a lot. Like my little boy has the same thing I have, where like I can skip a few words in a sentence, but you understand me.
Oh yeah,
I mean it's slang.
That's exactly right. I think that body language means a little more sometimes. And you can tell when some people, just like when I'm on TV, sometimes I'm very uncomfortable. But I look very comfortable, and then I'm playing with the anchors. It's going to be weird if I go on WLOX again and not see Dave Elliott, Carrie Abernathy. I swear, just that's who I've always.
He was here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I got a cigarette right over there.
I think it was great.
Bobby Charles, that did Theo Vaughn's table.
Yeah.
So Bobby Charles, do you know Bobby Charles?
I don't think so.
So he's a musician down here, but he also does resin tables, like really cool resin tables. And he plays music and you can't hear his, cause you remember he told me, he's like, man, I have Tourette's. If I come on the show, I could take my medication and stop. And I'm like, nah, just let it run. But when he plays music, no Tourette's. No Tourette's.
It's weird how that happens. That happens. Like there was an old country singer my dad likes. I can't remember his name, but he was like famous for having a really bad stutter, but it would immediately go away as soon as the guy starts singing. It would like disappear.
Really?
Yeah. I forgot the guy's name though.
I think the one that got me. I was watching AGT and I saw Cody Lee play. Kid's blind and autistic, and he comes out there and he sits at that piano, and as soon as he starts playing, Ray Charles comes out of him, and you're just looking at it going, that's pure 100% music, and that has, he's not right, but when he's playing this is what makes him right, and it makes you cry when you watch stuff like that because it is pure. That's what's beautiful about music. I've played music for at least almost 30 years now.
Dude, I thought you were 20.
I'm 45. but we, I get up and I've played in a band for a few years. I took some classical lessons and started learning real good. And then, of course, I got into a band. I was like, I don't need these lessons.
Yeah, just like, yeah. So
and then I didn't
was
learn
it 90s?
And then you don't learn nothing for like 15 or 20 years because you don't play with anybody.
What was your name of your band? I just want to know the name of your band.
We were called the Grits.
That was definitely the 90s band. That's a 90s band.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm going to drop this ad and we're going to get in this, guys. We got Chef Calvin and we got Cade Meyers here. We got music, both music and food. Okay. And then you got me. I don't know. And food. I love munchies. Let's go into this. How do you do this again? Oh, right here.
All right, let me.
We offer home, auto, commercial, builders, lips, and life is rich.
Oliver's good.
Oliver Shots is rich.
start
just
with
crazy scientific shit. And that's liquor. That's how you make liquor. I'm like, all right, I need to shut up and learn this, because
You gotta bring your mic up.
just that fermentation part. I'm so interested. Like I guess my ultimate dream job would be to be like a chef at a distillery or a winery. Give me these fresh wines, give me this fresh cheese. Let me play with some of these flavors. I mean, some of the best things ever come off the farm. Like I go to Charlie's You Pick It a couple times a year, maybe 3 or 4 times a year.
What's Charlie's You Pick It?
Charlie's You Pick It is a farm in Wiggins off Highway 26.
Shout out Charlie's.
But you go and it takes some work. You can go buy the produce they got picked underneath the tent. So if you don't want to pay to go pick, that's fine. If you go pick, it's $12 for a 5-gallon bucket. Me and my wife go out there and we pick 10 buckets. We'll pay $120. I'll pick 3 buckets of Roma tomatoes and make tomato sauce like old grandma. But I got jars of tomato sauce still. I got peas and beans and field peas like Mississippi pink eyes and butter beans and Crowder peas. And I go get all this stuff and corn. They'll sell a bag of corn, $15.
$15.
And it's about 50 years of corn. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's me and my wife. We have a lot of nieces and nephews. We have lots of family we cook with.
But you like doing this shit, though. This is like your thing.
I love doing this. I mean, the food is the connector between us all.
So what made you get into, so let's go to, all right, Calvin's 7 years old. Were you cooking with your grandma? Was it kind of one of the things?
With my grandma. It didn't start until I was about 15. And then about 15 years old, I was already working, making money. But I always came back and cooked with my grandmother. At 16, I was working in a restaurant. I used to work at Taurus Steakhouse back in the day. That was on the beach right next to the Burger King. And what's the name of that place? Emerald Beach Hotel. And then there was a Biloxi amusement park right there.
The dinosaur one.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time right there just working, probably 12 to 16. And then by the time I was 16, I went to work at McElroy's Harbor House.
Great breakfast.
I worked there for like 2 weeks. Mr. Mickey said, "You're fired." I said, "Why?" He said, "You're slow." I said, "Well, fine." And I left. I still went in there for breakfast, though.
I love their breakfast.
But, so a couple years later, about a year later, I went to work at Taurus Steakhouse. Same thing. I said, "Come on, man, you're fucking slow." And I was just like, "Man, I like y'all." He's like, "I don't care. I like you too, but you're still slow. Hurry up."
Why are you slow? Were you just at the time, were you just smoking pot and just cooking?
I tried to smoke pot and cook, but this is just washing dishes and busting tables. They were telling me I was slow. So by the time I got into the kitchen, I had the speed of a waiter, and I was not slow. So by the time they put me on a station, I started running those stations just like I was in the front of the house. And they were like, "You got to calm down." And I was just like, I'm setting shit on fire and cutting stuff. So I'm going real fast. But by about the time I hit in my 20s, this is when I decided. Before that, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be a chef. I'm not doing this, and then by about 25 or so, I was working at Mary Mahoney's, and I was like, I think I'm going to be a chef. I think I actually like this stuff a little bit. So I worked at Mary Mahoney's on and off for about 10 or 15 years, about 15 years. And I worked at Emerald's over when they first opened in Island View Casino. There was the Emerald's Gulf Coast Fish House. I worked at the Great Southern Club. The Great Southern Club was where my stepfather was a chef.
Ain't that kind of like the Skull and Bones of the coast?
Huh?
It's like the Skull and Bones of the coast.
It is.
Like
the older
seriously, it is. So
I mean, when you get into these older cliques of these people, man, this is the good old boy fabric to its finest. you do not get jobs unless you were a part of this one.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like, started to figure out after I opened my restaurant. I joined the ACF, which is American Chef or American Culinary Federation, and I was an avid member, and I supported a lot of events. I competed at a lot of events, and it paid off, man. I got first place at one of the events. It was a chef showdown. It was almost all the executive chefs in the city or in the whole town, you know, at all the casinos going against me and my little independent restaurant, Gulfport, you know. And
What was the name of your restaurant?
my name of my restaurant was Flair Bar and Grill.
Flair.
Flair. It's such a bad name.
Yeah, what made you come up with the name?
We were watching stupid shit like The Office, you know.
Was it Office?
Not The Office.
Was it Office Space?
Not, it was Office
Where it was
Space.
like, you don't have
And we were
pieces
like,
of Flair.
37 fucking pieces of Flair.
Here's my piece of
So
Flair.
it was definitely that. And me and my wife were like, well, let's call it Flair Bar and Grill, and we just thought it was funny. So and we
You memed your restaurant.
and yeah. So I may have misbranded a little. I was 30 and stupid. But like I said,
What did I tell you today on the phone?
About
Age. You said you're not going to start really realizing life.
until you're 30.
Yeah, so I told him. I said,
relief.
I told him. He said because he's going to doing pre-med and loves playing music and I was like, man, I was like, you really don't understand until like 30 is like when you really start going, okay.
Yeah.
well, I like playing music more than I like sticking people with shit. I don't like any of the medical field. Number one, it's not a very happy one.
Would you pass out?
No, I mean, how many people do you get to go and say, here's the good news?
Oh, I know. See, that's the
You
problem.
know,
The thing
that's my biggest problem is it's like you're mainly the deliverer of horrible news. You can't get close to the people.
Yeah, okay. Why do you want to do pre-med?
And then I'm a chef, so I bring happiness to the table, and so do musicians. They bring happiness to the ears, and when people were just like, well, what would you do? I said, well, the way I know how to dissect animals and things like that, I guess I'd be a surgeon. Shit. You know, and people are like, really? I was like, you never see me dissect a pig. You know, I don't know where their joints are. I know exactly what I'm doing. But I mean, I got steady hands. Now, I can't tell you I do good on the pig when it's alive, trying to do something to it, you know, jerking and stuff. But, you know,
What do you think, Cade? Like, why? What made you say, he's got a good point. That's you, I mean, the good news the bad news is way stronger than the good news.
I'll tell you my spiel, like basically like how I've coasted at up to this point. So growing up, I always had 3 really distinctive interests that I picked up. I think the oldest one was definitely medicine, just because of it's one of those professions where you can physically heal somebody, but you could also mentally heal them at the same time. It's hard to do the second one a lot more than it is the first one.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a kudo there because I think very highly of my heart doctor who put 3 stents in me in about 15 minutes. With no asking, just saving.
I guess also the idea of like I love the idea of specialization, like being able to do something it's really hard, like something that you can do, you know, something very niche.
Right.
But then I also really love business and I love investing, entrepreneurship, all those things have always been interesting to me. And then, so going into that actually is why I'm a finance major in college right now. I'm a part of an internship at my school. I go to South Alabama University.
Shout out Jaguars. Shout out Jaguars.
But, so I'm part of this internship that I've literally had my eye on since I toured there like 4 years ago. It's called the Jaguar Investment Fund. So they give you an endowment of the school has given us an endowment of $1.5 million.
What is an endowment?
Like they give us money.
Okay.
A big ass donation is what I like to think of as an endowment. And you take this money and you can essentially there's a group of 12 of us and we have a meeting every week to decide whether to buy a stock, sell a stock, or buy and sell a stock. And we pitch to each other.
Right.
So there's barely any faculty involvement in this. It's just us just talking and learning how to we present to each other, and we.
But do you
out.
understand what you're hearing? Are you comprehending 100% what you're hearing?
Oh, when someone else is presenting?
No. I'm talking about that finance world. Like it took me my whole 30s to figure out this is how much it costs to borrow this much money. This is how much I'm going to pay for this much money.
It would be nice to be a doctor who knows how to manage their money. That would be,
well,
be the first.
No. I'm just saying, it's like now I can give people a little bit of advice. I wouldn't take my advice. I would say I'm doing good for myself, but it's kind of like when we bought our first house. We own 2 houses.
You own 2 houses?
Yeah, one of them's a rental house.
So chef shit right there, son.
So I have a rental house,
Bougie.
and I lost money for about 5 years just to keep the rental house. And people asked me why I did that. I said because it cost $100 a month for me to keep this house. I said, and when I'm old, this will be a $1,500 a month income. For when my Social Security is only this much money, and this is only this much money, and now I have a 401k because I do work for Island View. So I've been at Island View for almost 9 years now, and I don't really see my plan changing much. I want to stay there. Whatever they plan on doing in the future, I'd like to be a part of that. And I'm probably going to be a part of that. If not, that's fine too. I could see some other opportunities creeping up. They get these other 3 or 4 casinos built that they talk about building, and there may be some other jobs.
I don't think I think Island View has so much. I think Island View loves you so much. I don't think so. I think because they would, if they didn't love you, they wouldn't put you the face.
I really enjoy working there. Like I don't.
They
go to
put
work.
them in the face of all the events, like the Gumbo Fest or these events that goes into the coast. When you see Island View, you see Chef Calvin and his team.
You see that,
and
you're the face of Island.
I'm one of the as my food and beverage director says. He says you're a spokesperson for Island View, and so I go and do these things in the public, just like this. Yeah, and this will be seen by all my bosses.
Shout out Lindsay.
But it's all good though.
Yeah.
This is one of those parts where they get good publicity because I do love working there. Just like last summer, we had all the educators from Mississippi Hotel Restaurant Association and all the high schools that are all around the state. They were having a convention here, and we had them at the casino and doing a class just because I did the competition in New Orleans, and I talked to a couple of people, and we traded some cards, and they were like, well, we like to do a demo. We were able to go to the college this year and do this. And then I said, we have a complete banquet space that we don't use. We can hold 500 people. And it was only about 50 people, but still, I got to talk to, I didn't go to culinary school, just by the way. So for me to be the one speaking to the educators, that's a big deal for me.
A bit of a leap.
So now I have enough experience to be an educator, but I still don't have that paper that says I went to school.
Yeah, you don't need that shit.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it.
And I know that. And then, it's just like our ACF chapter is kind of down. I wish it was more up, but the amount of work it takes. I've watched David Crabtree for 10 years, write the newsletter, send them out, stay up late, visit restaurants, recruit chefs, recruit people. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of after your work that you already did work, you know. So it's not just some emails and a couple little phone calls. It's, let me come have dinner with you so I can convince you to come to a meeting once a month and maybe convince you to be a member. And at a time during like 2006 to 2010, we had a very strong ACF chapter. There were 70 or 80 of us. So there was a good number participating. Nowadays, that number's still the same chefs. So if people like I and a few other coastal chefs were to get involved and be the ones that recruited and got you involved, the mad part with the coast right now is there's no help. You mentioned that earlier, just talking. So there's no help on the coast. I believe there's plenty of help. I believe there's just so many places opening. The help is scattered.
And y'all,
and that's a double-edged sword. I mean, I think it's a good thing that we're getting more options on the coast now. I mean, you know, I'm basically 3 years. I was born like 3 years before Katrina. So growing up, there really wasn't that much around here.
No.
You know, so it's good.
But Cade, you're picking the situation where it's like they're becoming draft picks.
Oh,
that's what it is. It's becoming so it's becoming like where it takes so long to actually be like ticket time. So, and this is just knowledge. Everything's ticket times and quality. Yeah. So it's like ticket times, and then like he knows the best line cooks, sous chefs. He knows them all, but it's like right now
it's hard to net one.
Yeah, Calvin, how many times have you been approached to leave Island View in the last 2 years?
I got approached a couple of times to leave for a couple of casinos.
It's different. That's real world food.
But the whole big deal is I would go to some of those casinos. I'm not going to name any names. And they're also casinos that laying people off. Yeah. And I've worked at Island View for 9 years. I've never once seen anyone laid off. I've never seen anyone laid off there.
Is Chavis ever going to get laid off?
You make too much money, your ass gets laid off.
Chavis, they're coming for you.
I mean, if you're not doing a lot, you're making $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. Yeah, you get fired. But you know, in this day and age, it's also a respect thing between the younger generation of chefs towards the older generation of chefs. I may not 100% agree with you, but I'm still going to shut up and say, yes, chef. Now, whether it may not benefit me at the moment. And number one, it's just the disrespect. So around here, the number one term in the kitchen is respect. When I walk into a kitchen and there's a new chef, I say, how you doing, chef? How are you today? When I walk into a foreign kitchen or a competition and that chef beat me, I shake their hand and I say, good job, chef.
I got a question. So I guess this is similar in both the medical field and the world of like cooking, because they're both could be considered high stress environments when you got a timetable and things are going on. So how do you deal with, do you think it's okay to be really harsh to people who maybe aren't, like I've heard of, like if you watch Hell's Kitchen, people are getting yelled at all the time.
If you do that to people, you get your ass kicked in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the hardest part to get people to understand. My job as a chef is to pretty much be a mentor. I'm trying to keep you involved in the business. You know how many chefs between 22 and 30 quit?
Oh, I can't imagine.
Because they get involved. They get involved in the wrong kitchens.
They're negative. Boss.
They treat them like shit. They cook them. They teach them how to cook, but they just treat them like shit. And then they're done with them. And so those younger ones at 30 years old are going and getting another education because this isn't working.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to ask me now what I think, if you're 22 and 23 years old, take your ass to Las Vegas. Why? Because there's Bobby Flay, Jose Andres, Jose Garces, Emerald, Morimoto, Nobu. There's so many chefs for you to work for. There's, and I really get not a lot for the Emerald nod, Yeah. When you go in and the people I get hired by are the people like Commander's Palace offered me a job because they knew I was similarly trained. they knew I could walk in their restaurant and make their gumbo and their barbecue shrimp and almost all their menu. So that was their plus side. I was already trained like a Brennan cook, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So around here, same thing. I work for David Crabtree. David Crabtree worked for Emma Lagasse. I also worked for Mr. B's. He worked for the Brennan family for 8 years. And then he was chef at Diamond Head Country Club. Then he was a chef at almost every casino around here. Treasure Bay, the Grand, you know, he opened up IP. He opened up Island View. He's been the chef of Island View for 18 years. So, you know, you don't think these people have this kind of power.
18 years?
18 years.
So he's the head guy.
Him and Jackie Stevie have been there, and Eric Spencer have been there for 18 years.
Are they cool?
Oh, yeah.
They like you?
They're some of my favorite people in the culinary world. You know, and I give them much respect. And they give me much respect, and that's it. You know,
what's the biggest? Because I mean, when you so we got to keep this in mind. Like the way he cooks, you cook big dishes. You don't do like you do smaller plates, but like what's a big, like you know, like a big, like when you do gumbo, like how big is your gumbo a pot?
I make a 12-gallon pot of gumbo.
It's
every other
12
day.
gallons.
Yeah. Every day.
Man.
Every other day.
Every other day. Okay.
So in my restaurant, we serve 400 to 600 people a day.
Oh my gosh.
So we do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we're known for gumbo and the soups that we make. So and I don't make, you know, I make fine dining soups in there. Some of them are. But I mean, I do like today was Tuesday, so it was broccoli and cheese day. This is delicious, by the way.
I told you, make sure. You eat more?
No, it tastes like this jam rye stuff. I like that rye whiskey, though. It's kind of like sweet, but you know, like we'll do some soup. You know, what's fun is when the cooks come and cook in my kitchen, and they don't think they're going to learn much, and I teach them how to make gumbo and hollandaise and beurre blancs. And I teach them how to make all the stuff that they're going to learn in culinary school. One of my cooks went and took their culinary school online, did the Escoffier online. She said, I already knew everything. I said, well, I did my job then. She said, you don't realize how much you impacted me. And that's one of the first ones. I call my children. That's one of the first ones to come back to me and just say, thank you for what you showed me. Mm-hmm. So I have a few chefs that are at the Island View, and they're there because we teach them the, you know, I know I'm the Dockside Deli. I'm supposed to be a sandwich shop, but I treat it like it's a Nukes or like a Panera Bread. I got pizza, I got tacos, I got all kind of stuff. So, I mean, I go crazy with it. If we can do Korean fried rice tacos, we're doing Korean fried rice taco.
You know? We're doing
that shit.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
So,
we're doing that.
So in December, we got some Korean kimchi fried rice tacos with some beef bulgogi and a little bit of crispy wontons on the top with some green onions. Gosh. But see, that's from me traveling and
it's
going
like an Action Bronson.
You know,
like, yeah, how do you come up with that?
You know, you're an Action Bronson.
Korean this shit somewhere.
Have you ever watched Fuck That's Delicious? It's one of my favorite YouTube. I'm a massive, so like I like smoking, left-handed cigarettes, I call them, but I love so I have over there it's Matty Madison. I have his vinyl cookbook.
That's awesome.
It's about a collector piece, but it's not even open. But Matty Madison is one of my favorite chefs. Action Bronson is one of my favorites, and they're just like him. They're in this scene where they'll go, well, maybe we have a glass of wine, maybe we just smoke some stuff, and then they'll just design shit. They're like, just like you said, like we'll just do like let's do a brisket, but also let's add a little sauce. But then we're gonna bring in some mashed potatoes. And you're like, what in the shit? And we're gonna make it on a taco. You're like, okay.
That sounds like something I would make like on a night in college when I like just looking at what I got in the fridge and just
Well, I
get
mean,
together.
you really, number one, you smoke enough, you're watch enough, drink enough, you're gonna have some creation. So when we went to Dallas, the first time we went to Dallas, there was this place called Velvet Tacos. So Velvet Tacos was known for doing rotisserie chicken and what they called designer tacos. And this would be, if I do a food truck, I'm probably giving away my food truck right now, but it doesn't matter.
It's not going to be Calvin's food truck.
They won't cook it like I cook it anyway.
Yeah, don't even matter.
So I want to do designer tacos. The main ones were just like that. The Korean fried rice tacos, a little Korean bulgogi, and then you do like some eggs, and then and you just throw that shit on the taco. And then we had like a jambalaya taco where they did like fried crawfish and jambalaya on the bottom, and then fried crawfish with remoulade on it. And I was like, this is awesome. And then they had one they called they had one they called a picnic. They did like rotisserie chicken and potato salad and French fries, and then they topped it with chicken skin crumbles. And I was like, this is amazing, And I know I'm in Texas, but Texas was one of the most eye-popping culinary places I went to. I would say all over the world. I mean, I've been all over this country. I've eaten in Chicago, LA, San Francisco, Dallas, Texas.
If y'all are listening right now, share this podcast if you love food. Share this podcast if you love food. Share Calvin telling the real. So I knew that about Calvin. Like I knew
Texas.
I knew about
Mississippi and Louisiana.
Hey, but I knew about Calvin and the way Calvin's outside the box chef.
Yeah.
So he really makes like the best munchy food you'll ever have in your life.
You see, I'm expecting someone to come around the corner with like samples.
No, I'll take you. Like we'll do one of our next events. I'll bring you with me, and then you'll get to see. No, and it's not like he's by himself. There's a team. It's not like you're gonna be like, there's a full fucking team. Like it's a.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, but they win, and it's outside thinking, and it's like, I used to ride the school bus with Brittany Thornhill right here. It's my girl right there. We were neighbors growing up in Latimer.
It's one of my good friends.
But outside the box thinking set him apart from everybody else. Hey, he needs a live stream from the kid. Okay. Well, Chad J don't play if anybody remembers that. Right, he used to fight. Hey, you know what? Brandon Davis got robbed at the Game Bread fucking event, so I'm gonna be honest on that one too. But no, the food wise though.
We should do a little cooking demo on your podcast. I could bring like a table and like a burner.
We can live stream that shit,
and we'll just do some shit.
Well, Brad's been wanting like us to go travel around and do cooking stuff, which I'm down. I love Brad, but he's like,
I met it. Like I said, I know his little brother. It's either his brother or his cousin.
All right, well, I'm about to go pee because if not, I'm gonna pee on myself. So you take over as a host.
All right, we'll be all right.
But I might pee on myself on the show. I can't believe
you too, Brittany.
Oh, sweet.
All right, ask him some hard questions.
I love these mics, man.
This is
beers
the most fun I've had all week so far. I've been in Indianapolis doing this competition, and then nobody want me to be on their podcast, but that's just because they don't know me yet.
Well, this is my first time being on a podcast ever, so the only reference I got is the Christmas skit with the sweaty balls SNL thing.
Sweaty balls.
That's pretty much all I've got related to cooking podcasts.
All I say, dated. Man, is if you can play music and get paid, play music and get paid.
I mean,
it isn't a.
Well, the cool thing about music too is like, you can look at people and see the connection.
Oh, I can watch you play for 4 seconds and there you already play better than I do.
Oh, well. Sometimes I just do that. It's like a fidget spinner. It's like a fidget spinner for me,
That's also me playing music for as long as I have. I've cooked for a really long time, so I cook at a certain level.
Oh, sweet! I love being.
I cook at a certain level.
You know, in front of Colin Cobbett on there. Hold on.
When you're playing music, a seasoned musician watches you play and says, damn, that fucking kid can play. And I have a neighbor that's 2 houses down from me, and I played music with him about 7 or 8 months ago. Now he's hammering up Jimmy licks and shit I can't do. So not that I can't do, my fingers just say no. And like I can chord it up and play cover songs and Leonard Skinner and all that, and all day long.
Can you play Semisonic?
Huh?
Semisonic, closing time?
Oh, yeah.
I can.
Closing time.
I'd have to bust my phone out and get the tab out, but I sure can.
I love the fact that y'all kind of bonded over just jamming. I played a little piano. My brother Michael, which is in California, but my grandfather was a bluegrass teacher. Music, but my brother just that one that can hear it.
Yeah.
So he plays piano. He plays every damn instrument. And he's a golden child.
I got a cousin that lives in Oxford that he plays saxophone. He's pretty damn good. His name is Casey Lipe. And then I have he's deceased now, but his name was Mike Lipe. And he used to make these guitars in California that would sell on the bottom for about $4,000. And I was just like, wow, you're more expensive than Martin's.
I know.
How much is your guitar? I think it's got like lightning bolts and shit in it.
So
you know why I got it because it reminded me of a piece of like old you've ever seen like an old pier, like the wood from the pier or something like that. It's got like cracks and stuff in it. I think that's why I got it, because it just reminded me of that. Plus, it's a very very malleable guitar.
It's nice.
You can do a lot with it.
I just bought a new one that so the one I've had for a long time, I've had an Alvarez for a long time.
Okay.
I play a lot of acoustic. So do you?
Not me.
But I haven't had a amp for probably like 20 years. So really, I was just going to find an amp.
Oh,
and
it's tricky.
I bought one of these amps that you can like download all the tunes to all the effects to. I barely ever play on the damn thing. I still just love the acoustic guitar.
I mean, you just pick it up though, and you're going straight into like one of the first things you did that was like saying it. So like you just jam around though. You're just sitting there getting home.
But then I bought this Ibanez. It's beautiful. It's like this beautiful guitar. It's gorgeous. And that was the first time I spent like $1,000 at a music store in a long time. And I really enjoyed playing it at the store. And then when I got it home and I played my guitar versus this blue guitar, I was like, I don't fucking like it. Mm. And what it is it's kind of, it almost has this ovation style sound to it. So it's very pingy. I got warm elixirs on my Alvarez, so it's very warm. It's almost like a hummingbird Gibson, you know. So I really enjoy playing that guitar. And then, man, you know, when I play certain ones, I played this one guitar that Garth Brooks made. It was a Takamine, and it had like this giant square hole in it. And I was just like, I hate the way this thing looks. But when I started playing it, I was like, this is such a gorgeous sound.
Yeah.
You know, and so when I first learned how to play, though, I learned how to play on a classical Gibson, which is Trigger for Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Or actually, it's a Martin.
Right.
No, it's a Gibson.
I think Trigger was an old Martin.
So
Trigger was an old Martin. Or is.
And what was funny is my dad had someone step on this guitar. Oh. So it made a hole right where the pick hole was for Willie's guitar. And it just had such a unique sound to it.
Oh.
You know? And when I played this guitar, I absolutely just fell in love with certain songs. And of course, nowadays, I can barely pick those songs, but not because I can't remember them. It's because my fingers say hell no.
Is that from cooking?
It is. Knives, skillets, the grip of that handle, the grip of that knife, and then you try to go to picking and playing, like you can hit probably 4 or 5 fretboards. I can't spread that.
It's such a different it's such a different
Depends on how your
movement.
fingers are, you know. If you got
Yeah.
some skinnier fingers, your fingered motion.
I got some pretty
it-
skinny fingers, not gonna lie.
it's
baby
almost like when
hands.
you're playing.
You got
soft
hands, boy.
Like when you're
That's what
playing
everyone always says.
sing, your hands just remember, and you kind of robot it for a minute, and you just know when you're supposed to change.
Yeah.
You know, when I just play, it's hard for me now to learn the song and not sing it too. But I suck at singing, so it's just like
You don't know that you ever sing.
Yeah, you know what's funny is
I can stay in key with my guitar, so I'm not gonna say I totally suck. But then when I try to get to the keys that I'm supposed to get to where the guy's singing, I'm like, fuck, man, that's why they get paid.
yeah.
Is
So-
can your mic stand hold this mic?
Yeah. Let me
You want to set this up so you can play one song?
let me
Oh
Let me
yeah, play a
tinker.
song.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's change this shit up.
I seen him playing that slide a minute ago. That's one of my funnest things that I can't play. And the only reason it's weird for me to play, and he'll know, is because you have to use 3 fingers to play one note. You kind of have to mute the strings around the strings of the strings that you're playing.
Let me get some weight on this.
Okay.
Actually, I'll just. Yeah. Okay.
He said, "We're coming to your kitchen to film. Let's go. We'll set up a kitchen here and film. What do y'all want to learn how to make?
I love this.
I mean,
It's a great
yeah.
podcast.
We'll
Oh,
no, for real,
My bad.
because you know, we can have like potluck, but not really potluck. Everybody says what they want me to make, and then I make a version of it. Sometimes it might be great. We might all love it. We might all be like, man, that sucks.
I love this podcast so much.
Well, that's cooking.
No, but it's real. You need some?
He's got 2 cups.
I'm always 2 cups.
I'm usually beer.
hey, we may need another another guitar case. This thing is struggling.
Oh yeah.
I could maybe hold it like
I get too drunk. I'll call
I
my
could
wife and
put
be
my
like,
foot
"Come
on
get
it,
me."
maybe.
I mean, you can stay here if you want. No, you're more welcome to stay here. Always. Got it?
Woo! Me.
Do whatever you want to do, bud.
Don't feel nervous. Just play.
So,
Same.
yeah, I'll just play a little bit of something I've been working on. So, I wrote this.
Hold on. This podcast is still going to go for another hour. So just let you know, jam all you want. But this is how I met him. Like, so this is how I met Cade. Him playing music. He's been playing music for what, a couple years now, right?
I've been playing like,
On the bar scene though.
for like 3 years. What was it? On and off.
Looks sexy. It's a chef tattoo right there for sure.
Yeah, well. A little bit of some radishes. And
I love this. All right, Cade, tell your story on this and let's do this shit.
So I would say I started when I was like 14 with the guitar, and the only reason I actually started playing guitar was because my mom and my dad were like, "You're not getting a drum set." Hell no. It was like a garage thing. I was like, "I can put it in the garage." They were like, "It's gonna be too noisy," and I was like, "Okay, fine." So I got my first guitar, and then about a year later, I finally convinced them to get an electric guitar. And I remember like the first day I got it, I took my amp, and they strategically got me the electric guitar like 2 weeks. Thank you. 2 weeks before I could get my amplifier. And then when I got it, the first day I got it, I snuck in the garage at like 11 o'clock and I turned it all the way up. If you ever seen like Back to the Future, he like turned all the knobs up and he like did that. And like 5 seconds later, I was like, I get yelled at. And so that was the end of day one for me. But yeah, so ever since then, I've just loved playing music and I've loved guitar and I've loved singing too. And I just like being able to do all of it, I really like surf music a lot. Like it's kind of weird for someone my age to like music that old, but like, you know, like Dick Dale and the Ventures and all that stuff. Like that kind of music
That
has always
beach
kind of
music.
stuck out to me. Yeah, beach music.
What, like
Get
the
closer to
Beach
that mic
Boys?
when you're on the live stream.
Yeah, so
Yeah, like as long as you get closer, you'll be fine.
okay. So anyways, this song is pretty little acoustic, pretty small little acoustic ditto that I've been working on. It's called Grateful for You. So it's like, you know, somebody.
You're dropping original?
Yes,
Oh,
this
okay.
is an original.
Okay.
A million views tomorrow.
Who knows?
Oh yeah.
He's like, no pressure.
Oh yeah, no pressure.
You got a sweet ponytail, so we're probably gonna do this. We're actually with the chef and we got a musician, so we're
You
good.
never know. We might have 400 or 500 viewers right now.
We never know. All I know is we're all ourselves, and that's what I love.
Oh, here, this is the problem child. The top one. There we go. Perfect. So I started with this messing with like open string tune, up open string stuff. The idea that you can like have a shape like this, and you know this is like
It almost sounds like some Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah.
What's the name? What's the name of that one song? I can put it.
Yeah.
Hey
Over the hills,
baby.
far away. But I just like the idea that you can. I guess this is kind of lazy-ish if you think about it, but it also
what is
kind
the
of
name of that
isn't
damn song?
because I like
Over the hills.
I like the idea.
No, not
you
that
can,
one. When you play that first chord that you're playing, it sounds like the Rain song. Boom.
I need to re-listen to the Rain song. I haven't heard that one in a long while, and I love Led Zeppelin. I think Jimmy Page is probably my favorite.
Oh, Jimmy Page is one of my. He's probably my top. Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix, and there's just something about the Hendrix shit. He plays it upside down, backwards and around. You try and play it right, and you think you got it. Well, you ain't got it. You're not playing upside down, you know, and it just doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
You know, the Hendrix tunes, and like I said, like some of the first that you played kind of reminded me of that Rain song. It's like,
and you got the Achilles' Last Stand is another great one. You ever heard that one?
Yeah.
Achilles' Last Stand. But the idea that you can just take a chord shape like this and you can just move it up and it sounds similar but different. You know what I mean? It's the same shape. You know, and you're just moving it up. It's not supposed to do that.
Like I said, I'm a rookie. I know I've played for a long time, but
I said there one time.
I'm still a rookie.
Like, go ahead and hit what's your original?
So this is it. It's called Grateful for You. Hello again. I saw the news today. Where did the time go? It feels like yesterday. If only that you knew the way I ramble on, all the places I've been through just to get where I belong. Pressing on to something that I need. But all the while, I never smiled at the one who saw me bleed. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful you asked me to. All the times we cried together. Oh, you showed me we could be better. Just beneath the waves when they roll high. Beneath the rays of a crumbling sky, you opened up my eyes to a world brand new. I'm grateful for you.
Our Let's go back to the podcast.
That's great.
Drag that
man.
mic over there. We'll bring it back in a little bit.
Thank y'all.
I think it was great.
That was awesome, dude. Like, you're passionate about it. Yeah, just pull that stand while hold it.
Okay.
Move that stand over that way, and you're still gonna jam out with us. Did you see what I was? Were you here with me just now?
Oh, yeah.
You want me to move it like?
Can you just put against the wall over there by the Polaroids?
Okay. Do you want to screw the mic?
No, it's probably a jingle. Just bring the whole fucking thing over there. Well,
some of my favorite things are singing and drinking. And
there we
cooking. Especially when you do them all at the same time.
Just bring that down a little bit so I don't hit the camera.
Just a little bit. Oh yeah, you can do that.
Can you lower it, or just lay it on the side?
About 2 inches.
You want me to lower the mic?
Yeah,
You just
lower the mic.
Yeah,
down.
just lay it all down on the ground.
Oh,
Yeah, it's fine. It ain't gonna hurt nobody.
On the ground.
Yeah, it's fine.
so tender. So tenderly.
Let's get the cards. Yeah, that was awesome, dude.
Thanks, y'all.
You better kiss your guitar.
What they say, it needs a cigarette afterwards.
I don't have any cigarettes. I have Dave Ailett's cigarette, but I want to save that.
But yeah, guitar is great. And
What is that? I mean, I'm fine with that. It's only nicotine.
But yeah, just the idea of like messing with open chords and stuff like that. And I also like to think big. So I guess growing up around the coast, like somehow whenever I write music, it always comes back to like water for some reason. I really like sailing.
So it's like so you're like the Kings of Leon.
Somewhat, a little bit. I like Incubus. Have you ever heard Incubus before?
Probably
my
Audio
favorite.
Event's way better. Energy, that's his brother, Brandon. His brother has a band called Audio Event.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, he has the lead singer of Ink is his brother's band. Remember that song? Remember the band Audio Event?
Oh, yeah.
They were like the I don't know, they were just more like a Foo Fighter style.
Yeah.
But
Foo Fighters, huh?
But Incubus was your like it was it Drive?
Well, see, I mean, Foo Fighters is Foo Fighters, but like, I mean, you just can't. Just everything they do is so cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I love Foo Fighters.
Do you?
I can play a little song.
Incubus.
I can play Everlong.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think Morning View is probably my favorite album ever. Morning View is absolutely just stellar.
What was the first Incubus song you ever heard?
First Incubus song I ever heard was probably Echo.
Okay.
Have you ever heard Echo?
Yeah. I've been there. I've been to a couple of their concerts.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I mean, they are kind of our age. I mean,
yeah, well,
Incubus. I mean, was it Incubus hit scene probably 90, 98, 99? Heavy?
I'm more of like that Tool fan.
All right, he's way older than me. I'm 38.
Oh, well, see, my dad.
Super tooled up. I love Tool.
My dad likes music, and it kind of rubbed off on him a little.
A Perfect Circle, Lost My Virginity. Yeah. Noose to Noose.
Oh.
No, seriously, I went.
I've never heard Noose before. I've never heard Noose before, but
you know what I'm talking about, huh?
Seen the movie?
I think but 10 years is a lot when you talk about music. A 10-year
span,
15-year generational gap. There's a lot of music that
you gotta bring it up a little bit more.
That you either listen to or you don't. I listen to a lot of Alice in Chains, lots of Pearl Jam, Tool, lots of stuff like Talking Heads, lots of 80s music.
I mean, Nutshell will always be that forever song.
If you can't play Nutshell on the guitar, man, I swear.
It's like that. Yeah.
So for me, it was I was really big into New Radicals.
Okay.
It was Adam Ship. Shout out to my buddy Derek. He wrote the album. He owns
Adam Ship.
Yeah, he owns Cultivate RX in Ocean Springs.
Okay.
So he wrote the whole Adam Ship album. He wrote Evanescence album when they dropped at 12 Stone. He's a songwriter from Ocean Springs, lives in Guff Hills.
Wow.
I'm still into the Adam Ship world. I like Three Doors Down, but I'm going to go Adam Ship over Three Doors Down for me personally. But like right now, I mean, on my vinyl, normally it's Arctic Monkeys. I'm a big Arctic Monkey guy.
I like Arctic Monkeys. I'm a big punk rock guy too.
Like punk rock though, or do you like the Clash?
I mean,
or the Sex Pistols? I mean, where you at punk rock?
It's so hard to not love like Rancid and Green Day and NoFX, and I love Operation Ivy. I love Pennywise. I mean, it's so hard to not say that. Yeah. Oh my God! If I'm in the crowd at a Pennywise show and Bro Hymn comes on, I'm probably gonna slam some people into some walls.
I say you're a mosh pit guy.
I used to.
You know, the very first song I ever played in public was "Time of Your Good Riddance" by Green Day. That was the very first song I ever played in front of people. It was great. It's a great song.
Like I said, I absolutely love punk rock. It became one of those happy musics for me.
If you want to hold your baby, you want to hold your baby, you put it up.
I mean,
if you want.
And when you listen to me, when you listen to me play, and you listen to the kind of music I play, you would never
play.
Think
you want to play more?
Play?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
play it up
for you. Yeah, it's gonna jam, dude.
He's gonna hold.
Well, just while we're talking, just we can go back and forth.
Yeah, that's fine.
But let's see, favorite Incubus song. I mean, Drive. You ever seen that movie Surf's Up? Is that with the penguin?
Yeah, it's a cartoon, right?
Yeah. Road brings, I'll be there with open arms and open eyes. Yeah. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. Oh, I'll be there. Like, and then you get into "Wish You Were Here," which is like, that's my favorite Incubus song. You ever heard that one?
I can play a "Wish You Were Here."
We know, like, yeah, we both.
I wish you were here. I don't really sing it a lot, but and then Echo. Oh well, that's
all that fast shit, see?
But Led Zeppelin's always been a big thing for me.
Can you play Four Sticks?
Four Sticks?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard this one? Baby, baby, I'm gonna leave you.
I'll play that one too.
It's a fucking jam session right now.
I said, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna leave. Ooh. It's gonna happen. Oh, yeah.
But I guess I've always tried to like do a little bit of like the Doors. I really love the Doors. I love his singing style. Is so Jim Morrison is his singing style is so great because it's not too like. I mean, I could never do what Chester Bennington did from like Linkin Park, when he just like scratches up his voice like the way he does. But
man, look, like I said, we'll get
back to music in a little bit. Let's hit this
when
on the podcast.
Them guys get paid for just singing. They got talent, they got an instrument. When I play and sing, I can hit, like I said, I don't think I can sing, but I can sit here with you and play and probably sing.
I don't think your voice is that bad at all.
But like I said, I don't think I can sing.
I don't think, I mean, that's you, like you're saying, like I do the same thing. Like I have to edit the podcast like clips. I can't stand the way I sound. I think I sound retarded. Like, I mean, I literally sound like the worst person ever. And then, like, I have people like, one thing is I've been able to do this long enough where I get feedback where I'm like I get compliments on being a host. Yeah. And I enjoy my podcast. Like, I go to work to Ingles to listen to you. And that means a lot to me. But, like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm just a fucking wreck.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way I think in my head.
Yeah, but see, I go home, I have a cocktail, sometimes sit by myself, play the guitar, sing. I don't really care who's around.
I want to be at that fire with you.
I really don't care who's around. Here, I'll show you my phone.
Now, yeah, like
here's how many songs I know. You can pick them.
I'll stay up. I'll wait. I usually get all my best ideas when it's like really late. I'll record something in my voice.
What it really was is the guys turned me on to some tabs, and I was just like, how are you able to just take requests? Like there's all the songs I know. Words, music.
Long December, probably a killer. Because your voice ain't bad though. Your voice is not bad at all.
I can sing some Counting Crows, but they're pretty fast.
You better have Around Here on here. You better have Around Here.
Actually sing.
So
like it's not like it's different when you sing some shit where people can like half-ass sing and half-ass play guitar and they're famous.
Yeah,
and I think that's what you see in music a lot.
I think you can jam to this shit with them.
You see people but I play a lot of different stuff. I play.
This is your shit. Way more mine.
I play music that my wife likes. Like I'll play shit like Rihanna. I'll play things like Adele. I play Adele pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. Like I could play someone like you pretty good.
How about Ben Howard?
That's one of the songs I practiced a lot, and it's a piano song.
Someone like
I learned
you.
it on
Oh, we heard that one.
Are you bullshitting me right now?
Someone like you.
You lead it.
Oh man,
play.
But maybe I don't know.
You're a young guy, so you may not have heard that shit.
Maybe I've heard it, but
let me see your guitar with your capo.
Yeah, hook him up. Yeah. Put the capo on that shit.
Yeah, I have it.
Well.
Do you want to? Do you want to? How about you switch over here? I'll sit in his seat, and then he sits next to you, and jams. We got a system going here.
But yeah, vocal wise, I just like the idea of being able to sing loud, project loud, just to the edge of like vocal breakup.
And like
I said, do you want to hold this for him, or do you want to bring that up? Bring your stand up for him.
Oh, I can hold this for you.
Okay. We're a team. We're one team. If you want to know about us, we're a team. This is fucking awesome. I love you guys. It's awesome. I'm glad we're alive. That's all I can say.
I heard that y'all settled down.
Oh, Adele. Oh,
married now. I heard that your dreams came true. That you gave me things I couldn't give to you. Oh, friend. That's why I can't sing. Why are you so shy? It ain't like you. To hide from the line. I wake up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away. Hope you see my face and realize that for me. It isn't over. Never mind, I found someone like you. I wish nothing but that for you. Don't forget me, I beg. Never want to say sometimes the last. Love and sometimes it hurts and stays. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a dumb son. I know a lot more of it.
All right, we're switching host spots, so hey, no, you stay here. you want to? All right, let's go. You want to play? You want to play another one? So whatever you want to do. Mic him up. Oh, you gotta hold the mic for him again.
All right, I like it. Just
I got a mic here. It's incredible that like the binding over a. How much is that guitar?
It's $400 something.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I like the lines.
Mic up that.
Oh shit.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna play something fun.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, dude. This shit's dope. Yeah, like so on this one, like you gotta tap up here.
Okay.
So it's on right here.
I heard that train was coming round the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I know where. Well, I've been rocking for some minutes. Time keep dragging on. On down the I messed up right there. There was a baby, my mama told my son, always be good for you, don't ever flip guns. Well, I said the better we do, just a watch and die. Hear that lonesome whistle, I hang my head and cry.
How's that make you feel? No, I'm the leather chair seat guy.
All those rich folks people in those fancy night clubs, always drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. Well, I had it coming, knew I could be free. Hear that whistle blowing, and it just soldiers me. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, dude, we're just fucking some podcast.
You can handle it. If those, wait a minute. If they free me from this prison, don't railroad train of mine. Move a little further on down that line. Welcome for some prison, but I want to stay. Hear them folks some whistle, blow my bills away.
Nice. Like I said, it's a moldable guitar, right?
I love that guitar. It's Like I said, mine sounds a little plastic. That sounds more like my Alvarez. So I enjoy that one a lot.
We're gonna retune real quick.
Like I said, I play it hard. I have fun with
Well,
it.
hey, I mean, you got you got big hands, so you gotta play.
That's it.
And I'm sure, like as a chef, you have all.
He
these,
says he's got big hands.
You want to? Are you playing? Y'all go back and forth.
Oh,
Hop on
if y'all want,
Y'all switch.
we can-
Calvin, go
I
back.
think you would like
we can
four
just keep
sticks.
talking for a little bit.
Hold this. I think you would like four sticks. Is it tuned up too?
It's missing a string. Cash broke the string.
Well, let's see this one.
It's a fucking jam time.
The four sticks is pretty
Here.
easy.
Chill slip here. Thank y'all for coming on. This is fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I like that rhythm, especially at the beginning. I think I have.
The reason
heard
they
it
call
before.
it four sticks is because John Bonham's playing with four drumsticks.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you know? Are you screwed down there? He's going to get back to his seat so we can go back to our podcast for a second.
Let's podcast.
Let's do it.
I mean, we could play music and talk about food the whole time.
I'll bring this back over.
No, I'm having a blast.
I'm having a fucking blast too.
Thanks for letting me play your guitar.
What?
You know,
I gotta get back to the mic. I'm sorry.
like I said, it's it's one of those things where you start playing and the words were fixing to start coming out of my mouth. So
Well, you know, you look at the word for me is like podcast. Podcast it's a weird term of like a conversation with people.
Yeah.
That's all this
It's a
is.
strange
well,
modem. I always thought of it as a radio show with a video camera on it.
but it's a definitely relatable conversation. You know, that people would love to just sit and hang out and have a conversation. And instead they're sitting on their computer watching. You know, but like I said, you know, sometimes if I'm alone at night, I go home, I play music. It's one of the best things ever.
Do you feel the same way, Cade? Is that kind of your
It's
escape?
my- like I said,
it's like your
It's my favorite
antidepressant
spinner.
pill, right?
It's
I don't
like a
that's.
therapist.
I guess that's why I like. I'm not like. It's not like I was. It was like raised in a household of like prudes or anything like that. But just like, I guess the reason I never really got into drinking or anything like that is just because about the time that I would have started, I picked up the guitar instead, and it weirdly enough that was sort of like my therapy. You know what I mean? I would go in my room and I would just play for hours and hours and record voice memos and watch like tutorial videos. Like shout out Marty Music, Carl Brown.
I
Those
love
are like the
Marty's
two YouTube
music.
channels that I basically was
Marty
taught to play
Swartz.
guitar on. Oh yeah, he's my guy.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
I
my
mean,
guy.
These little apps taught me so much music
Yeah,
and so many changes and lyrics, and it changed how I learned. I can learn a song in 30 seconds.
yeah. It gets to that point, and I mean, I had a few guitar lessons from this guy named Eddie Raymond, who he's gigged around here for a long time, and The Stevie Sequel was the guy who first got me into playing music. I don't know if y'all know who he is. He was this Cajun musician who played around here. He used to play at the Wahoo Bar and Grill
What's
a
his
lot.
name?
Stevie Sequel.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, when he got pancreatic cancer when I was in like the 6th grade, and when he passed away, he actually gave me his guitar picks and the harmonica of his, and that was what started me on the path of like I want to learn how to play music. I want to learn how to like entertain in a bar or somewhere like that. I want to like look at people's face and see like the change take place. You know what I mean? When I play music, that's what it's about. You know, try to project. I guess you sing whatever comes to mind. So sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, but either way, I think it's the fact that it provokes people is what's so amazing about it. And
It's like it's its own love language. Let's be honest.
yeah, it is.
Music is a love language.
It is. It is a love language.
When I see
It's a language.
When I see young musicians that can make money playing, I'm super impressed. I can probably make enough money to say, get out. They would listen to me play and sing and be like, you got to go. But I could also probably manipulate it enough for the drum machine.
I think you're not, for me, listening to you, the way you're he's very passionate about the way he's playing, but like, you don't have a bad voice, bud. I mean, you really don't.
See, that's what I'm saying. But it's just like y'all saying, you know, I can't stand listening to myself on the answering machine. I can't stand to hear that. It's like when I see myself on TV and I see how nasally it is, I'm like, man, this is awful. But then when I like talk to someone, I don't feel like it's that bad. But then again, I'm like, man, it's that awful.
I learned back, like I started really singing in front of a bunch of people during junior, senior year. I went to St. Pat's Catholic High School, and part of that
call it Mercy Cross. Don't bullshit us.
Whatever.
It's called Mercy Cross forever.
Whatever.
Mercy Cross.
So we played like the I actually got kicked out of it, but the choir, the music choir, whatever you want to call it, music ministry, I think is what we called it. And I think one time we were learning a song, and we were trying to figure it out, and someone said to me, "Okay, Cade, what key is this song again?" And I said, "Well, it sounds like a G to me." And she was like, "What do you mean it sounds like a G?" And that was when I discovered I had perfect pitch. She was like, "Cade, you have perfect pitch." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." Because I thought she meant I could sing good. But I guess perfect pitch means like you hear a note on a piano and you can close your eyes and you can tell someone what that note is. And not meaning to be arrogant or anything, but I literally like did not know that like not everyone can do that. And I took a bunch of like YouTube perfect pitch tests. And I guess that's why like I never bothered learning music theory, although it would really do me a lot of good. I like know some basic stuff, but just if I hear a song on a radio, as long as it's not a shredding guitar solo, and that's not my style anyways, but as long as it's not that and it's got a chord structure, I can usually learn it in like 10 minutes, barring solos.
I agree. Sometimes those shredding guitar solos are daunting. Those guys are so good.
Well, I mean, people hate on them and say,
you know, like I said, I try to learn some Metallica and then relearn it after I've already learned it. It makes it so much more difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't think it's that difficult, but it's just like to unteach yourself something and then reteach yourself the same thing. But this one little part's different. You'd be surprised how much you automatically go back to those parts because that's the way your brain just,
yep,
you get it that way.
I like your tattoo, by the way.
Which one?
Remy.
Oh, that's one of my faves. We got another food one the other day. We got some onions, and some carrots, and a radish.
Nice, very nice.
And then I like the food tattoos. I don't know. We're gonna get a bunch more.
I bet, so mine was like, I don't know, I probably got 60, 70 hours of mine. And it was such a great thing for me. This last go, like, so this is 10 years old. It's whole sleeve. It's a full blown Van Gogh sleeve. And done by
that's a lot of juice to go at once.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no,
no.
no. I mean, I think my
How long
long.
did that take?
So it was 60, 70 hours, but I think my first one was like 12 hours,
Yeah.
Oh,
and it ruined me. But it made me sick because you're just getting hit.
Yeah.
And but Jonathan, he just left. He was here last month. He's owning Sweetwater Collective in Oregon, Jacksonville, Oregon, and he came. He stayed here at our home. He borrowed a car. You know, he's one of my best friends, but he's been gone for a decade, and we were going to finish work on tattoos on me, but it got to a point where he wanted to learn who his real dad was. Something he's been chasing. He's 42. And I kind of just said, here's the keys to the car. Go figure out your story. And he was by himself. And we were just at the end of it when he came in the house, he's tired. I was tired. We really patching up personal things in his life. And we're going to do this. We're going to do a podcast tattooing each other, just tattooing podcast. And but it just didn't ever, I could never even podcast because all we did was spend time and it was a choice that we just decided we didn't want to do. But it was so cool to he found out about his dad. So he never his father that's raised him since he was a kid. It's his dad. I mean, Long Beach guy, a great father. But he never knew his real dad. So me and him went through a whole mystery thing of let's try to figure out.
Well, you got to find out, man.
Yeah, and that's something he wanted to find out, and I was there with him while he had to go through that discovery. And it literally, it was very emotional for both me and him because we're hey bud, let's do this. We're going to detect this one time because, I mean, literally, he's married. His wife's she's a therapist, and they have a couple of different companies. But he didn't come from, just like he was saying, he didn't come from much small home, but it was just, he's I gotta know who this guy is. He quit drinking, I think 3 years ago. He gave up alcohol, just changed his whole life. He's done so many different changes in his life, but he always wanted to figure out who his real dad was. And we got to figure that out this last trip. And I think, I'd love to have we're gonna tattoo again, but it was one of the things that we're just hey man, this is something that you've always had in your head. I'm glad to be a part of that. Fuck us tattooing and shit.
Yeah.
That was massive for me as growing up as friends for a long time. When he did this tattoo sleeve, Jonathan Steen is his name, Jonathan Steen. But he was an apprentice. This is his first sleeve. Actual his heart sleeve.
No kidding.
Yeah. He penciled freehand most of the
It's
stuff.
a little Starry Night-ish.
Oh no, that's my favorite. Van Gogh's my favorite because of quotes.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But he literally took it and went to this level. But that was a story.
Yeah.
It's a very important story of friendships. We're gonna get older. That's what you're 22.
Yes.
But this is life. You're gonna go through a trail of life. And what I'm saying is you're saying pre-med, but the way you play music, the way you love music, I would put your heart into the music.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to do you're talking about pre-med, but you got to do what you love.
Oh yeah.
Like I said earlier,
you know what? Something I'd really like to do.
Do what makes smiles on your face, man. If you're able to help people to those magnitudes, I 100% would back that up too. You know what I'm saying? And the music's for you to smile.
Yeah.
Just like you saying, "Damn, chef, that was tasty." That makes me smile.
Yeah.
I put in hours of work sometimes for things, and you don't know that I put 15 hours into that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the effort I put in there to make you say that was good, and just how many times you practice and how much you practice, and trust me, I know how much you practice.
We can tell.
I watch you play. I watch you play.
Yeah.
It's not even. I do need to get more disciplined with the practicing because for me, it's you just sit down and pick it up. You know what I mean? Sit down, pick it up.
I
It's
feel
a habit.
if I don't touch my guitar at least once or twice a week, I'm ignoring myself, and then I'm depriving myself of an outlet. This is a stress. It's just total. I'm 45 years old. I don't care if I play in front of people or in my private. I'm going to play that music.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna sing it and play it, even no matter how horrible it may sound, and I don't care,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes me happy.
It's okay. What is your big thing though? Like, what is your? You said that. What is your thing that really like?
You know what I'd really like to do is, I would like to start like a nonprofit for music therapy. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
I
like,
don't. I don't play music.
Kids, so like, people in the
I love the
hospital.
idea.
People in the hospital, they're bored and they're kind of pissed off because there's nothing to do in a hospital when you're sitting in a hospital bed and they got the crappy TV up there and that's it. And I guess people coming to visit you, but other than that, you're just sitting there bored and mentally you're just like, oh my gosh, when am I gonna get the hell out of here?
Right,
My grandfather, he had a pretty major knee surgery last year, and just going to visit him in the hospital, seeing how bored he was, it can really mess with you. It can mess with you when you're stuck there for that long. So I think people like that need somebody to go in there and maybe play some music for them to lift their spirits. Maybe you could teach somebody how to play music while they're in the hospital.
So I got a guy for you. His name's Graham Ray. He's a buddy of mine. He's been on the podcast. His dad had dementia, and they were working on an album for 10 years. Graham's he won Covey Awards as the artist. He plays violin.
Okay.
But his dad, he really fucked him up because he was feeding his dad, going through dementia, watching his dad, lose life. They started an album at the very end. His dad couldn't even eat food. And so Graham makes it a mission. You see Graham playing in bands and
Graham Ray.
Yeah. He plays at your casino, but like
I love Graham Ray.
But his dad, so he on the weekdays he plays at the memory loss clinics.
See, yeah, that's great.
It's like what the Graham Ray is by far one of the most.
He's one of my favorite people. Period. He plays.
That's a sticker right there, Graham Ray.
He plays. Yeah, I got it on my guitar.
Right there, the green.
Yeah,
Graham Ray.
I got that on my guitar. I should have brought my guitar. So watch Graham play a lot. Plays a lot of Southern fiddle.
Oh, see, I wish I knew a good fiddle player, man.
Fire. He can play that Charlie Daniels stuff, but
yeah.
I'm talking about he plays fiddle like you've never heard.
Yeah,
and when you,
I would like to meet this guy.
When you hear that, he plays around here 8-9 shows a week. And
wow.
And I mean,
but he learned through his dad. His dad's a musician, and they were like, working on an album. And I think that's why I love the podcast. He was like learning his story, but it was like his dad was his best friend, and he Graham made it a point. Graham from drinking, partying, made try to change life. He's not he's us. Nobody's a perfect person, but Graham's biggest thing was his father. Man, he was him and his dad were recording music at a young age. Graham.
Yeah.
When I tell you, there's one person on this coast that knows how to play. Anything. It's Graham Ray.
Graham Ray and Ty.
Yeah, they're a band. So Ty Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a podcast together here.
I know.
Oh, no kidding.
They're different.
When I see them two play, man, they can play every country song, every classic rock song. All the fiddles involved too.
He's not lying.
And when you hear it, it's just like, why don't y'all? I mean, why don't y'all just make a band and go? But they make a killing with these casinos. So, I know some of them may make $500-600 for 4 hours.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. It's hard. It's hard to be like, yeah, let's go wait tables for $100-200.
So he so Graham hit his playing these memory loss clinics. So it was all based on because he said he felt people that didn't have memory can feel the music.
So I was actually going to say something about this earlier. Did you know that when people have Alzheimer's, the last thing to go is music, every single time? Isn't that crazy?
No.
Even after you can't even remember your son's name, music goes after that. There was a really cool video that I saw of this 5-year-old woman who was very she had Alzheimer's, and she was passing away very soon. And she used to be a ballerina, like a prima ballerina for the Russian, like a Russian ballerina. And so somebody played the White Swan song from Swan Lake. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Like na 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 na.
So you do have a perfect note pitch.
So she
you do.
So she did like all the movements with her hands, and it was like watching her change again into like a young 20-something-year-old ballerina. Like she previously like a vegetable essentially in bed, and she just morphs and does all the graceful hand movements. So stuff like that is really moving, and it reminds you of what music can do. Silence is also great. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love sitting on the beach or sitting near water, but music is also great. It fills a gap that some people have.
When's the last time you had a day where you didn't have your guitar?
Oh man. I think
Be honest.
Okay. Last day I didn't play my guitar was this weekend because I drove home to see my family and I went fishing. That's basically what I did instead of play guitar.
Were you itching the whole time though?
No, because I was actually doing well. I was catching all these little white trout and I was hitting it. And I was like, yes, let's go. I was reeling them in one after another. There, the biggest one I got was like that big. So, no way in hell I was going to be able to eat them.
Though.
But I know,
we're sending some samples of love for the next show. Got you, Moose. Moose Metals is I'm not gonna give out his name, but I kind of gave him the nickname Moose. It was a big nickname that we had in preschool, but I'm gonna own that name.
Oh yeah, here you go.
But I'm gonna own that name because you already know Moose. I'm excited about that. I think the biggest thing that I have to tell you though is so fascinating that like you really do care.
Yeah.
You care, and you care too, goofy ass. Calvin, chef.
What are we doing?
Now that you care about like community and food and life. You're not yet changed who you are. You're in it. Like you're like when he talked about making the damn tacos.
Yeah, that got me hungry.
Dude. You're like,
and I haven't gotten unhungry now.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
I try to bring love with me. And when we make this food, like earlier, I was making some turkey stock for some cornbread dressing for Thanksgiving. And I cook some turkey necks and we cook it down. And I mix that broth with the cornbread. And that's what makes the dressing. And everybody's like, "What you making, chef?" And I said, "Well, I'm making the turkey dressing." And they're like, "Oh, you got some turkey necks in there." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got the turkey necks." So I took the turkey necks out and I threw them in the fryer for them and fried up a couple and fed them to them.
You ever had a turkey neck?
Oh yeah.
I've never had someone make me a turkey neck.
Holy shit! Are you lying to us?
No.
What do you eat? Pizza rolls?
We'll fight over those.
Turkey neck. Wait.
The turkey neck. It's the turkey penis looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I guess it looked too sus for me to eat.
No. I mean, like.
It's really good. It really is.
In the restaurant,
it's good.
There was a few times where we would put the necks in the pan while we roasted turkeys. And, of course, we took all those drippings and we made gravy with those drippings. But there'd be about 20, 30 necks, and everybody's like, "What are we going to do with this stuff?" So we would put it in the gravy and feed it to everybody. And of course, everybody's like, "Turkey necks, huh?" Now when I feed them turkey necks, it's like throwing fresh fish into catfish in the harbor. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're tearing it up. So I mean,
snapper throats are good. I love snapper throats.
What the fuck's a snapper throat?
Snapper throats are.
I don't know shit about that.
Never make it past the kitchen.
Yeah, see what I mean? It's like the throat of a snapper has.
I gotta get about 70
it.
or 80 snappers for me to offer a snapper throat. Because the first 20 of them are gonna
get.
What
the fuck are you talking about? Like a snapper throat?
So the snapper throat is pretty much the collar of the snapper. Underneath the pectoral fin, there's this piece of meat you cut off, and it's got bones in it. The best thing I can say, I go to a place over here in D'Iberville. I go to Osaka, and they have a broiled hamachi collar, which is pretty much a snapper collar. So this is some of the best, stickiest meat. Most people don't eat this stuff because they throw it away. And just like fish head stew, I used to think fish head stew was like disgusting until I made it a couple of times. And I made it with a snapper head and a salmon head. So the first one I made was with a snapper head, and the snapper head has so much meat in it. You would never believe how much meat you throw in the garbage. And
Yeah, it is kind of crazy.
So I boil.
Okay,
I
learn that.
do not let it come to a boil. You clip the gills out, and you simmer the head for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then the meat just like I'm talking. I push it with my finger, and it goes out of the cavity. So I'll fill a bowl with the meat, and then I'll take that juice, and I'll make you some noodles or rice or whatever, and I'll pour that fish head juice plus that meat, and it's some of the most delicate, fantastic stuff. I mean, people would pay hundreds of dollars for this, but it comes out of the head, so they're just like, "Oh, that's trash." So it's like
It's kind of like sucking a head of crawfish, right?
it is. It's
Okay.
kind of like sucking the head of the crawfish.
It's weird how I've
The head
had
of-
that, but I've never had freaking turkey neck. I guess that's
You really never had it?
that's the coast rat, I guess, in me.
No,
Man,
I mean it's
never had
so I'd say that
turkey
though,
neck,
but it's,
I've
I
had
guess it would
snapper
be
throat.
no, but it'd be similar like to
Yeah.
that the turkey neck. So it's like it's really like very tender meat, like it's
It
Yeah.
is.
it's like it's like a ribeye bone.
It's a
And,
slow,
you know, I think-
it's a slow cooked neck, but it has a lot of little like bones, just like your neck does. So it has these, kind of spinal column. But when you like I take him and I throw him in the fryer and I feed him to everyone, and they're just like, I ain't never had it like that. Most of the time they get it as turkey necks and gravy over rice.
You ever have like a very tender like barbecue rib, like bone tender, where it's like so
Yeah.
like you're in love with
You
it?
know what's crazy?
That's a neck. That's
I
a
think-
neck.
I think I got the bad rap from it, like in that Christmas Vacation movie where Cousin Eddie, he's like, "Save the neck for me, Clark," and like everyone kind of looks at him like, ugh. But I guess you're.
I
right,
love the
that's
fact that
pretty
you
good.
grew up on these references.
Well, it's my dad probably. Oh, shout out Conrad, one of my Sigma Chi brothers. He just joined the live stream. So
Kind of is he
yeah.
in a gang?
no, Sigma Chi, my fraternity. He's in my fraternity,
I think
Wait, Sigma Chi's in
South Alabama.
really?
yeah.
When did that happen?
A long time ago, like 60 years ago. We've been there a while. We were established. We've got the best house on the row.
South Alabama.
Do you live that in a house?
I live in there. Yep.
You live in
I live in the fraternity house.
Do you?
In the fraternity house. Yep.
You have fun.
I have lots of fun.
Did y'all throw
I
parties?
mean, I had
Let's
I
get
had
the
a
parties.
friend-
Y'all throw parties or what?
Yes.
I
we
mean,
go
I had a
to
friend.
parties.
I had a friend that lived in the fraternity house in Florida State University,
Oh, see,
and we
that's
tried to go visit
that's like a
him,
whole.
and he was like with a girl at the time, but it was kind of mellow. But he was just like, "Yeah, it is not like that."
Fuck this,
And-
Calvin. Though we got to get into the frat house. You're in the
Right,
frat house right
right.
now.
Yep. I drove from there this
That's
afternoon.
awesome.
Packed my
are you
bags.
really?
Just
Yep.
to hang out with him.
Just
Are
hang
you,
out
so
with
you're
you
staying
guys.
here too? Like, are you
Cheers.
driving back or are you going to go?
Oh no, I'm gonna spend the night at my parents' house.
Okay. So you're okay.
Yeah, I'll be fine in Biloxi,
But no, fuck. So there's a like. So I went to Spanish Fort High School.
oh
no,
yeah,
no,
go
no. I went to
Toros.
Daphne High, but
Oh,
I lived in
Well,
Spanish Fort.
fun fact. So like after Katrina, my family
I
moved
love
to
that
Spanish
over
Fort
there,
for like
man. That's
7
awesome.
years. We
That's
moved to we moved to Spanish Fort for 7 years after Katrina. So I lived in Stillwater. I don't know if you know where that
I know
is,
it is.
but that was the perfect
I lived on Blakely Way.
neighborhood. Oh no,
No,
kidding.
no, the house on Mr. Ed Seafood was next to my neighbor. So if you go Blakely Way, you take to Timberwolf, the old houses, like the colonial houses.
Oh yeah,
So I was on. I think mine was like the 10th on the left. But I
that's
grew.
great.
Yeah, it's a good area.
I love growing up there, man. It was the recession though, so like 3 out of 4 of our neighbors moved out while we were there. I can't believe, like
Oh,
looking
took
back,
our life.
I should have I should have invested in real estate back then instead of playing on Mario Kart on the Wii.
I'll tell you what, man. Real estate is the
Then
number one.
I was 7 years old.
That's probably the thing I made the most money on in my life.
Yeah.
I spent the most money on in my life, but
Real estate.
real estate.
Let's talk about this. So when y'all throw a party real quick, though, I want to know this. Like,
Hell yeah.
What's the biggest party y'all threw though? Like recently?
Oh gosh.
Allegedly, you gotta say allegedly. You're getting fucked.
Guys, if y'all watching, help me out. I don't know. I think the best one, my favorite one that we ever did, it was probably we did it called we called it SpaceX. SpaceX. No.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. It was called we called it Sigadelic. Because Sigma Chi, right?
Psychedelic.
Ski Lodge is a good one. Carson, shout out Carson. Ski Lodge was another good one. So we flooded our entire house with styrofoam pellets, and that was like the snow. And so we had we had chicks dressing up everyone dressed up in ski clothes.
Yeah, we'll get into
goggles.
it. Allegedly, he's just telling stories.
Allegedly,
yeah.
Right? This is allegedly. But that was a great party. Sigadelic was my favorite though, because it was like psychedelic themed. Sigma Chi, Sigadelic. And so we all put on like tie-dye stuff, like a Grateful Dead concert. I think that was probably my favorite one.
So the Jaguars though, like for y'all to like, I didn't realize that. Like I really did. My brother went to South Alabama. My brother Michael.
It's grown so extensively.
Yeah. So when he was there, like there was none of that.
Yeah.
I used to stay with him. There was like no like parties. Now my cousins had Pike and Southern Miss. I slept in the pool in Pike. Yeah, dude. I just stay. Like I literally enjoyed it. Shout out to my buddy Lee. He's Kappa Sig over there. Hell, my buddy Jeff O'Keefe and Bradford O'Keefe funeral homes.
Yeah.
He was the president. But when I went to USA, that's so cool. Y'all have these kind of things now. Like I know you got your football team, but like it was,
dude. Yeah, it's so different.
I want to go and party. We cook food. Let's go. Can we cook food at your house?
I'm sure that
let's do a fundraiser.
I mean,
let's fucking throw a fucking cookout there.
I mean, we're always looking for ways to raise money.
It's a world champion chef right here. Okay, don't fuck this up. We got to get this one.
If you want, we're having we'll
do a fundraiser for
Conrad Carson. What do you think? We got a world class chef right here.
Champion. This guy's the chef for the Island View Casino in
I'm a chef from Mississippi.
Yeah, big time casino chef right here, head chef.
I think we should throw a party.
I used to work in Alabama.
And let him do the fucking tacos.
Yeah, this guy makes some great tacos, allegedly.
Let's do some tacos.
But yeah, we're having a golf tournament fundraiser coming up in the spring, and I'm sure.
How big's this house y'all have? Like, what's y'all's? I mean, would y'all build
I'll
it
show
or
you
y'all
a
bought
picture of it.
But what kind of fundraiser y'all doing for the spring?
Are you the next Animal House?
Can we make it even
Sometimes
bigger?
it do be like that.
I don't want to embarrass you or nothing, but I mean,
can
we make your fundraiser bigger?
Oh no, yeah, we need. So we have our annual fundraiser is called the big one we do is called Derby Days, and basically that's like
we're fucking.
It's a big dance. It's a big dance. It's like a big dance competition that we do at the Sanger Theater in Mobile. But there's a lot of other stuff we do raising money coming up to that. Usually what we do for that, there's a bunch of different ways we try to raise money. But like one way is a roadblock, which basically means we like stand in the street and
let me ask you a question. How many of your fraternity brothers would be interested in doing some tents and maybe some food fundraisers and stuff like that?
I mean, we just had elections, so if you want, I can talk to my philanthropy chair and we can try to get something.
I'm very proactive in those things.
All of our money goes to the Huntsman Cancer Institute.
Right.
That's like our sponsor essentially.
How much money have y'all raised?
The more people on the team, the better.
We usually raise $40,000 a year from Derby Days alone.
Fuck yeah. I fuck with
it's
y'all.
A lot of money for a small little school.
Real quick, I'm going to plug something real quick. Shout out to Con Life.
You never know. Maybe we get involved with like the mullet hop or the mullet toss or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would love to do something food
down
related.
in y'all's area. Also, I'm friends with a lot of the Orange Beach restaurants.
Really?
I used to work over there.
Sweet.
So,
are we throwing a fucking party?
We might be.
Maybe.
But we could get more sponsors
Yeah,
and more people involved. Is what I'm saying.
we're always looking for that.
And just a little bit of phone call, maybe some Facebook texting,
Yes.
and I could probably provide something.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that would be great.
So your buddies, like y'all are really growing up fast in that fraternity because y'all are trying to like keep yourself busy.
Yeah, we always try to like we do external stuff. We do internally we try to work and help each other, all have as much fun as we can and stay on top of school and all that.
That's impressive.
Externally, we a lot of stuff we do in relations with like the other like sororities and like the other organizations on campus. We do a lot working with them. I think one of the big things we did recently. So our rival is Troy. South Alabama's rival is Troy.
Really?
Yeah. And we just beat them for the first time in like 8 years at our home game against Troy. And we presented a large check to USA Women and Children's Hospital during halftime. So stuff like that,
So you're really
makes us feel pretty
invested
good.
into your frat boys.
Yeah, I mean, everyone tries to find ways to like benefit the chapter in their own way. Some people are really good at raising money, and so philanthropy. Some guys are extremely sociable, and so they get put in charge of like Rush, like seeking out new members.
So what
to
is
the
that like when
fraternity.
are you allowed to tell little stories about how you?
Oh, how I got in Sigma Chi?
Yeah, did you like have to drink a keg?
No.
I mean, what the hell did you? Did they rub you down with baby oil? Like, did he? Like, what happened?
No, I mean, honestly, it's just it's a lot more chill than Sorority Rush. Sorority Rush is horrible. If you've ever if you ever had somebody who's been a sorority or anything like that, it sucks. It's like a job interview but worse because you're getting interviewed by a bunch of girls that are like your age basically, and you have to go from house to house. And it's exhausting. You have to do all these webcam interviews. Guys, it's just like, oh yeah, we're having a cookout. If you guys want to come, and then we just chat with potential rushies, and then we're hey, we like you. You know what I mean?
Can I tell you one of the best friends you'll ever learn is it doesn't matter your degree. It's all about your network.
Oh yeah, definitely. I learned that
network.
A long time ago.
So my stepdad is Scott Levenway, and he's the lobbyist at North Long Casinos. He did an interview with Rick, and so he's 78 years old. He rocks Nike's, and he's co-host on the podcast. But he made this table though when he was 16. He was 16. 18. He was 18 years old, and he made this cherry wood coffee table by hand.
Really?
Yeah.
It's solid.
Dude, I'm 6 years old. 60
Wow.
years old table. But that's it. He told me that said like he's Millsaps.
Oh, see, that's where my dad went.
Yeah. So
my dad went to Millsaps.
So he probably knows my dad. And but that was one thing he said, no matter what, it's all about network. It's the way you network with people. The way you it's network.
1000%. Just like I go to this competition that's it is for the world. I meet people from Australia, the United Kingdom,
really?
Africa, Jamaica.
He's not lying.
I meet people all over the place to the point to where if I travel to those places, I can message them and say, hey, would you like to have some lunch? And we all have some lunch. And we may not know each other that well, but it's still, it's that network. That's not available to everyone. And that's the thing I cherish the most about what we go and do is that I meet people from Australia, from Great Britain.
Yeah. That's pretty neat.
When you think the competition isn't that great, and then you go back to it, and those things happen to you, you're just like, this shit is great.
But if you look at his mind, his food though, and we're talking events of like down here on the events I've been to where he's cooking, massive. They're massive, but like he's never missed on food. It's an addiction of like his love. Where you're like when he's like talking about these tacos, me and you were like, "Oh fuck, I'm hungry."
I know. I gotta go home.
But if you take a bite of his food, like doesn't matter what he cooks, he puts so much care and love the way you play guitar into his food. when you take a fucking one bite, you're like, oh fuck, who's this guy? You're trying to figure out who this guy is, and he's walking around like treating everybody with love. He's not a dickhead. He's not egotistic. He makes the best fucking food, and it's so fucking cool the way he treats like his staff. Like I remember one time I think he had like 5 or 10 people with him. And they're the Rush event, but he like compliments everybody. Like he's very like, instead of like going, watch out for me, bitch. He's like,
yeah.
How you feel? You good? Let's go. Team spirit. You got this.
I'm the biggest
problem solver.
I'm the biggest cheerleader on the planet. You can make your life hard by trying too hard and overthinking something. For me, I try and encourage, just like I encourage you, do the medicine. It makes more money than music.
But it will never be
enough. If you get really good at music, it makes more money than medicine.
Yeah. That's a trade-off.
So, that's up to you and what level you're ready to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage you to do both things until you figure out what you really are. That's what I'm doing.
You don't want to do anything that's like money's gonna come. Just like look at this, like this right here. Once it gets downloaded, it's gonna blow your mind. You're gonna like see a whole different world. It was just open to the audience of an actual true podcast tonight, and I want to put you in this place of the chef. You hit me up and said, let's go in. I've been messaging you to like come on, and you said your messenger was messed up. Yeah, but I have been messaging you, but like he's
but just like most podcasts or most public outings plus TV are about 4 minutes long. This is the longest I've ever talked.
I love it.
And been recorded.
Yeah, it's weird,
and you kind of get past the uncomfortable part because you're like, fuck it, I'm already over here.
They're gonna say whatever they want to say, but they're never gonna like. They'll never do it. The ones that talk shit about us, they're never gonna do it.
But it's hard. It's hard to get on TV and do what you're trying to do. It's hard to get across what you're trying to say, whether you're promoting a company or yourself. It's difficult to sit in those 3 people. How long have we known each other? Some minutes.
It's a couple minutes, like 6 minutes, maybe 9 minutes together.
We can sit here and talk.
You're right on this, Calvin.
And and get along, and that's because we have like interests, and that's really it. It's like I believe that guy can cook a bunch of stuff that I want to eat. I believe that you can play a lot of music that I want to hear.
You are good,
and I feel like really he's going to make a bunch of podcasts that I want to watch.
Thank you. But he's nailing it. He's being honest. Like this,
and that's the truth part. And if I'm involved in that stuff, I'm fucking fabulous,
dude. You can't you literally just like I'm playing. Like the first thing you did was like I'm just gonna do original. They're just different people. Like you've already told us like so much about like you're doing music's your life.
Yeah, but it could be that point to where me and you are just podcasting. We meet you now, 3 months from now. You're like up here.
Cash Culpepper.
Meet you again, and you're just like, I know you guys remember me from 6 months ago, and we do. And it's just that you've risen to this level, and you never know. I watched these guys go from a couple podcasts to like, here's 100,000 podcasts. Here, we're at every media event on the coast. And I'm like, really? Y'all are going like that?
Well, but
it's like
the biggest
they
thing
are.
But the biggest thing is that we have to always know that you fucking got to do it. And I like the pre-med thing, like, and I hope you do it.
Yeah. You just got to go for whatever you think you could do. You know,
it's a niche, but I'm telling you right now, if you like, you're gonna go and you're gonna play. I'll tell you right now, in the next decade, you're gonna be a musician. You're gonna go full-time musician. There's no other way for you.
It's tough. It's such a pull, you know. It's a big pull.
But you're good at finance, right?
I like integrating things
and I
as best I can.
Someone like you with 10 years more experience.
Jesus Christ, yeah, dude. Like,
and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
You know, I can play a little. I've played for 35 years.
Yeah, and you fucking walk in like fucking playing chords like it's out of style.
That's not the same now. You can tell me, hey, we're gonna play this song. I can play with you.
Mm-hmm.
But your experience, it's kind of like when I go to New Orleans and I go to Frenchman Street and I watch those clarinet and tuba players that have been playing since they were like 7 or 8 years old in the band. And now they're in like this 4 or 5 piece band and they're just amazing. And I love going to New Orleans. I go to New Orleans, I go to Frenchman Street. I don't ever go to fucking Bourbon Street. Fuck Bourbon Street.
It sucks.
Go to Frenchman Street.
When's the last time you did the Bourbon Street?
Watch real musicians.
Not long enough.
Watch real musicians play music. These are the musicians.
He's been a hustler.
Paid every day. And I know they're not the millionaires, but these are the ones that get paid.
Yeah.
And they're playing washboards on their stomach and banjos and trumpets and horns. And I watch these guys and I'm just like, I love this. Like when I go to New Orleans, we should make a podcast of just going to New Orleans.
All right, let's do it.
Because when I go to New Orleans, we eat. We're culturally everywhere. But when I go to places, I go to places where only the locals go.
Yeah.
I don't go to places like Bourbon where everybody else goes. I go to these places because this is what makes the city so awesome. You know?
Yeah, you're a fucking chef. All right, let's finish this off.
It's the Mecca. It's the Mecca for me.
We got to finish this
New
off.
Orleans is definitely Mecca
maybe,
for that.
So maybe that is like a podcast episode. Let's go.
Let's fucking do it.
Let's get a drink.
All right, Cade, you tell everybody because you're gonna stay at your parents' house tonight. You tell everybody like it's a fucking great time. And like, what did you think about doing the podcast though?
It's fantastic.
I mean,
I love kicking up your Crocs, you know, just chilling here and talking about our interests, growing a little bit. I think this was really great. This is it's such a stretch for me, you know. It's such a new thing. I think that's why I love it so much. So I'm really happy y'all invited me on. Really, like this is crazy. I'm beyond what I can. Beyond what I thought.
I'm happy you're here.
Yeah, I think you have this. I think your ability of the youth going forward, like you're fucking doing it. Like you really are doing it.
Yeah.
Like you do care. Like you're in this mindset of like, number one, you want to like help. Like you want to play music to help people.
Yeah.
You didn't say about I want to do music to make money. You're like, I want to do music to help others. Like,
yeah. You make great music. You help people.
We gotta set Graham up. I gotta fucking set Graham up with you. I really gotta set Graham up.
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
That's his whole thing. This is his whole thing. Like I'm telling you, right place, right time.
Yeah.
Graham Ray, shout out to you. Love you. Chef, tell them how they can find you. How do you fuck get the World Cup? How you do that?
How we do what?
Say good. We're saying good night right here.
Well, good night.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Now, really, really honestly, I'm thankful for being able to come on the show and have a public impact. A lot of the times people don't want to hear what we got to say. So what I want to say is the coast is awesome. I love this place. It's full of so many great people. When I go somewhere else and and you open the door for them and they walk through the other door. What the hell is that? This place, I traveled from Indianapolis back to Mississippi. And when I got back into Mississippi, I knew 100% that I was back in Mississippi. The gas station attendant was bickering back and forth with the lady that was leaving. And I just absolutely loved the banter and the love. And people just don't understand that don't live in Mississippi or Louisiana.
Yeah.
We have so much culture and love for one another. This is that place where you break down on the side of the road. You got 15 people that stop and ask you okay?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck, you okay? You want me to pull you out of there? I got a winch.
Not to mention the best food, right?
That too. But it's just those people don't let you. You're never going to be alone in the woods. There's always going to be some guy in Mississippi that runs through the woods on his four-wheeler or his truck with a big old winch and sees you spun out on the side of the road and stops and be like, man, you need me to pull you out of there? That's what I've been driving around for all day long. So I just want to say I love the place that I live. It is very special to me. And I love that you had me come on the Cop podcast. And I think you're going to do amazing things.
Thank you, sir.
And
thank you.
And that's where I'm close out the show. And I appreciate
love you.
It.
Okay, you know what, guys? Just get my. Where is that at?